It don't take 10 years to know if you want to spend your whole life with somebody.
How long does it take? About 7 and a half?
Every pod I come in here and talk marriage, yeah, they think I just come in here talking because I'm never gonna do it. That's what people think.
Oh, no, he gonna do it.
That's not, I didn't get that.
No, he gonna do it.
That's not, I didn't get that.
Marc and Brian can't be at the same table.
Well,
there's so many people that can't even be at the same table anymore.
We'll be fine. By then, me and Brian will be good.
Marc Lamont Hill is out here calling Joe Budden all the way out. And honestly, he's shaking up Joe's whole relationship narrative in the process. Yeah, these last few episodes have turned into a battle of wits. And listen, Marc has been getting his licks in. He's clowning everything the viewers have been side-eyeing for months. Joe Budden has had a special someone tucked in the background for a long time now, basically since the Rory and Mal era ended, which tells you she's been a steady piece of his life. But now Marc is teasing him non-stop about how Joe always talks like he's ready to marry her, throwing out little hints and lip service promises, but never actually taking that walk down the aisle. And the audience, girl, they're catching on the same way Marc is. So lately it's been a whole back and forth of jokes, jabs, little digs, and playful shots fired by Marc. So let's break down the biggest ones. First up was the Big Sean situation. Remember when folks were flaming Big Sean for not marrying Janae Aiko after all those years together? Well, Joe was right there adding fuel to the fire, forgetting he was basically throwing stones while living in a grass mansion. He was out here saying, why would he waste her time all those years?
The girl's side in this, but it don't take 10 years to know if you want to spend your whole life with somebody.
And Marc Lamont Hill slid right in with the knockout punch, looking Joe dead in the face like, so how long should he have waited, Joe? Pause. 7. How long did you take? About 7. 7.5. Now Joe tried to play it cool, hit that little smirk laugh combo he does, and to someone who loves content, he probably appreciated the moment. But listen, we all know Joe has admitted on air that his girl listens back to every episode. She's for sure gonna catch that exchange, and she definitely does not love the way the fans talk about her, which I'll dive into in a second. And Marc isn't the only one throwing light jabs at Joe's relationship situation. Imoni chimed in not too long ago too, basically checking Joe with, why don't you get married if you always talking about how I'm not married?
You still single niggas to hurry up and get married? Y'all still here with me? We still in the same couch. For 3 on this pod that can even play around with that. The rest of y'all need to just keep it quiet.
And then it's you.
So that they don't stop wasting time. Go get married.
So what you're seeing is that this is a whole thread running underneath the show. This is the real subtext. And honestly, I'm starting to feel like a lot of folks on that couch don't actually believe Joe is ever going to follow through with it. I mean, just look at this moment right here where Joe Budden is complaining that he turned all the marriage conversations into podcast content, which now has everybody convinced he's never walking down that aisle.
Yeah, because I speak so open and freely about it, so I'd rather not speak open and freely about it, and I don't want my partner to feel like I think it's a joke, because I don't think it's a joke. And I love you, baby, if you're listening.
Aww.
Got it. Marc Lamont Hill is teasing him again, cracking up on the side. Oh, no, he's going to do it. Say, nah, he's absolutely doing it. And now suddenly, he's definitely doing it. It almost feels like he's really saying, child, I know damn well that man ain't doing a thing. Then, another jab popped off on a recent episode, this time fired straight from Marc Lamont Hill. This one came right after the Brian McKnight situation and Marc interviewing Brian McKnight Jr. and his newly estranged wife. Joe Budden started pressing Marc about how messy that whole setup was. He even joked that Marc wouldn't be allowed to sit next to Brian McKnight at the wedding. Marc just brushed it off and said, don't stress it, we'll be cool by then.
Marc and Brian can't be at the same table.
Well,
there's so many people that can't even be at the same table anymore.
We'll be fine. By then, me and Brian will be good.
Jesus Christ, it's getting downright diabolical on that couch. And honestly, is Marc even wrong? He's just saying what a whole lot of people already think. But like I mentioned before, Joe's girl listens back to these episodes, and I do believe she's sensitive about the whole wedding conversation, because I once cracked the joke on Twitter about it. I posted that clip of LeBron James making it to the finals over and over, coming up short and walking off the court with no ring.
James congratulating some of the Warriors, and we'll get a standing ovation here at Quicken Loans Arena.
Now, this was similar to that time when rumors started swirling that Joe was headed to Greece or somewhere fancy to propose to her. He didn't pop the question, of course, and when Joe came back, he had that classic reaction. Oh, y'all think I'm proposing? Something wild went down. Y'all tripping.
Nigga.
2, I came up here and just lied on my girl. Just because it's fun.
It is fun.
Yo, she don't understand that part. It's fun to just lie on them, but my girl was not expecting me to propose. It turns out.
Now, even knowing something wild went down, I still thought they might actually get married. But nope, it didn't happen. And when I made that meme about it, she absolutely lost it, calling me everything except a child of God. That moment really opened my eyes. She's extremely sensitive about this topic. She hates anyone joking about it, which is tricky because the person throwing the jokes is doing it on a huge platform that millions watch and listen to. What she's really doing is channeling that frustration toward me because she can't publicly go after the person she actually has a problem with. Maybe she handles it privately, who knows? Publicly, she just lets it slide, and on stages or spaces, she keeps repeating, I love my man, my man, my man. I'm curious to see if that energy ever shifts toward Marc Lamont Hill. I can only imagine what she says about him behind closed doors. And then, there was this other painfully awkward moment when Joe Budden started talking about some exchange where she's constantly checking his phone. And he tried to play it off like it was all cool, but the rest of the crew was like, nah, that don't add up.
Going in my phone like a regular girl.
I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who's going through my phone.
I do.
That's a dub for me.
Marc was like, yo, I don't want anyone rifling through my phone. That's straight up an invasion of privacy. Even Parks chimed in with, yeah, that was weird. Things got extra awkward when Joe Budden started rolling out his self-serving logic. He kicked it off with, okay, but what about transparency?
You should be going for that's not a level of transparency, though. That's cap.
Wow.
That's not a level of transparency.
How so?
And the rest of the crew was like, all right, man, you do you. They didn't actually say it out loud, but you could tell that's exactly what they were thinking. Yo, we're good with you living in your delusion, because, hey, it's the Joe Budden podcast. This just shows the unintentional spotlight the podcast puts on his relationship. Sure, Joe tries to keep things private, but with the way his mind works, everything inevitably leaks out to the listeners and the industry. The show often claims they only reveal what they want the audience to hear. But like a baddie trying to hide her little escapades, they still let the real stuff slip when they speak. Another angle to notice is that his significant other is no longer just background energy. She's now officially part of the Joe Budden universe, speaking directly on air, her presence fully integrated into Podwives. She's shared a lot about her and Joe's dynamic, how she feels about his strip club habits, and her opinions on other things too. There was one moment she said something, and I'm not going to spill it now. I was like, whoa, that hit. Maybe I'll reveal it another time. I can't shake the feeling that if she doesn't get the payoff she expects, some resentment could build. I also predict that Marc Lamont Hill might stop making these jokes. I firmly believe that once the jokes get amplified and people start pointing out what he's doing, he'll pull back. Not just because of the fans, but because he won't want Joe Budden upset about what he said about his girl. Only time will tell. And I know in my comment section this relationship drama has been a hot topic for a while. There are people saying, don't even talk about it, nobody cares. But the truth is, those same people do care, and they're invested in seeing how it all unfolds. And it's not really being nosy, it's just that it's already been discussed on air. They've been unpacking this relationship for the past 5 or 6 years. That whole part of the show feels like its own little universe. I usually steer clear because I tend to leave the dynamic between the podcast and its significant others alone. And if I ever dive into it deeply, it comes off as a slight, so I don't go too hard. I just touch on it on a surface level. But now that she's officially part of the show, being discussed at length, and even people like Marc throwing jokes and taking shots at their exchange, I'm like, maybe this is a lane I should explore. But honestly, I probably won't. I mainly just wanted to break down why Marc keeps tossing these jabs, And I can't even be mad because it's straight up hilarious, and I actually think he should keep at it. Though I feel like once the fans start really catching on to his sly digs, he'll pull back. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Marc Lamont Hill is crossing the line? Or like Rashad Balo from Earn Your Leisure once said, he's not going far enough? I'll keep you updated on these types of exchanges as they unfold.